Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Ticking Together. As always, the goal of this channel is to provide education about and to raise awareness as to what it's like living with Tourette Syndrome. In today's video, let's talk Paligraphia. For those of you that have seen my last video, that one was dedicated to graphia, which is a similar phenomenon in the Tourette Syndrome tic disorder community, and we're going to focus this video to Paligraphia, which is a type of handwriting tic, similarly to graphia. Now, I want to preface this by saying that the graphia phenomenon is very broad. There are many different kinds of symptoms experienced with this phenomenon, but I'm going to try my best to explain it, to tell you guys what it is, and in this video, like I said, we're focusing on the Paligraphia spectrum. So, what is Paligraphia? Let me just start by saying the word Paligraphia is basically separated into the prefix and the suffix. So pali, or pale, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but it means the recurrence or repetition. So this is very important to note in this video. And the Latin suffix graphia means to write. So basically, Paligraphia means the repetition of writing, which is very important to note when considering what Paligraphia is. Paligraphia is the involuntary repetition of writing and different kind of writing things. So for example, someone with Tourette syndrome or a tic disorder that experiences Paligraphia may experience writing the same letter over and over again, the same word over and over again, or the same sentence over and over again until it feels just right. And these kind of words that are being written are their own thoughts. So as opposed to my last video where I talked about echographia, Paligraphia focuses on the thoughts of the individual actually writing it. So for example, if I was to write, "Today is a good day," with Paligraphia, I may write today, today, today is a good day, and just repeat the word today if, for example, that sticks out in my head. Now, I personally don't experience this form of Paligraphia, but this is what I've done the research on, and it is pretty not talked about in the world of Tourette syndrome, so I wanted to bring awareness to it like I do in all of my videos. So Paligraphia can be in the form of writing, typing, or tracing, and I think this is very important to note because most of the articles online surrounding Paligraphia are strictly dedicated to handwriting. And I think it's important to note that Paligraphia can be typed as well as traced on top of handwriting. So what I mean by tracing is, for example, I do experience a form of Paligraphia where I will trace my own thoughts in cursive writing and I will repeat them over and over again until it feels right. Now, I'm not sure if this is an OCD tendency or Tourette syndrome or mixed together, but for example, some people have a lucky number or a number that like sticks out to them, which they will repeat the word or sentence or letter that many times until it feels right because the number they've already like predetermined in their head is the number of times they need to write the word out because it's just kind of like what our brains do. So another example is when typing. You might have to type the same word a few times until it feels right. And that's a kind of a strange thing with the Tourette syndrome brain is lots of the time you'll do things until it feels just right. And for neurotypical people, it's hard to explain like what that just right feeling is, but it is something that is very real and so many of us experience. So it's important to note that that is something that is legitimate. So in regards to Paligraphia, I have a few words that are kind of in my head a lot that I have to either say, type, write, or trace, and I just think them all the time. So I've actually made a video on mental tics, which I will link up there because it explains these words in more depth, I guess. But for example, one of my words that I always have to write is remitly. This makes absolutely no sense because this is like a money transferring website, but as soon as I heard it one day, I was like, this is very, like my brain just was so infatuated with this word and I can't even explain why. But I will write remitly over and over again with my finger and I will trace it in cursive writing. Sometimes I will write it in my notes app on my phone, so that's typing. I don't always write it because I don't actually on paper because I don't really have paper to write in right now, but if I did, I'm sure I would write remitly in the paper. So this is my own thought. It's not echographia, it's not coprographia, it is clearly paligraphia, because this word was one time I saw it and I was like, yep. And now I don't need any prompts, I don't need people to tell me it, I will literally just write it because it's in my head and I'm thinking about it. So I will write it sometimes over and over again, sometimes once or twice. It just depends on the situation, which is so bizarre, but that is a very clear example of paligraphia. Now, with more severe cases of paligraphia, for example, in school, it can be really detrimental to like getting an education and like learning. Because when you're writing notes, for example, if you're writing again, today is a good day, and you get stuck on writing today like 20 times, your notes are going to be very incoherent, and that's just something that is hard to deal with. I'm lucky enough that I don't deal with that severe paligraphia, but I do kind of trace words all the time and write words in my notes on my phone. So that's just something that I wanted to make clear. Paligraphia can be very detrimental to like learning, and it can be very disruptive. So it's important to note that it's not easy to deal with, especially when it's more severe. But there are different levels and severities of paligraphia, just like with all tics. And so like me, you may experience like writing one or two words over and over again, or you may be more severe and you may have to write the same word on your paper over and over again until it feels right. And either way, it is valid and you are experiencing paligraphia, and it is important to note that it is a real tic. And so many people don't talk about paligraphia as a real tic. So I wanted to bring awareness to this and tell you guys that yes, repetitive writing of your own thoughts in the form of like writing the same word, sentence, or letter over and over again, that is 100% valid and real. So I think I'm going to end the video here. I just wanted to make a quick video to educate you all about paligraphia because it is less talked about in the world of Tourette syndrome, and I really wanted to make it clear that yes, this is a real thing. If you learned anything, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, because the goal of this channel here is to break the stigma surrounding Tourette syndrome. And in my next video, I'm going to be talking about coprographia, which is another graphia phenomenon. So if you want to subscribe and stay tuned, you guys can learn more about that in my next video. Again, if you learned anything, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below saying hi, telling me what you want to see in future videos, or letting me know if you experience paligraphia and to what severity level, if it affects you in your daily life. Just let me know. I want the comment section on here to just be a friendly community of people learning and talking and growing together. So yeah. Before I go, I just wanted to remind you all that I do have an Instagram account at Ticking Clock if you want to reach out to me there. My DMs are always open, so if you have any questions regarding paligraphia or any other Tourette syndrome phenomenon, let me know and I will try my best to get back to you. Thank you guys for watching. As always, we're learning together, we're laughing together, and we're ticking together. Bye.